Welcome to Birds Huddle, presented by our friends at Toyota. Alongside Barrett Brooks, I'm Michael Barkan. A very happy Victory Monday to you. Following an impressive Eagles 28-22 road win in Minnesota yesterday, Barrett, how badly did the Birds need that win to prove to the naysayers that they are the team that everyone expected them to be this season?
Well, I mean, it seemed like the national media started turning their back on the Eagles like they couldn't play. Well, hey, they just had to show everybody they're still the best team in the NFL. I mean, it's a lot of, people in the middle with these 4 wins, 5 wins. But at the end of the day, this Eagles team is still one of the top teams in the NFL, and it's about time that people start noticing again.
Played like it, now 5-2, and here's our 3-point stance presented by Toyota. Number 1, Jalen Hurts is still that dude. The Eagles needed him to beat the Vikings with his arm, and man, did he deliver, becoming the 3rd Eagles quarterback to finish a game with a perfect passer rating of 158.3. Hurts joins Donovan McNabb and Nick Foles in that exclusive club. McNabb did it in a 56-21 rout of Detroit in 07, and Foles did it in his memorable 7-touchdown game against the Raiders in 2013. Hurts' teammates said they could sense that he was in the zone.
I mean, he's got so much swag, just got the swagginess to him. When he's in control, you can see the look in his eye, especially when my favorite play was that 4-minute bomb to AJ. That was, I turned around and he's just locked in, dialed in.
You could tell like when he really sees it and he gets this look that he sees and he's like, oh yeah, this the one right here. So it's fun, man. It's fun. We're all on the same page. The sky's the limit. We just have to continue to do that.
You don't have a game like that without the guys around you. So I give a lot of credit to them. Give a lot of credit to the collective of everyone hanging in there and enduring the game.
He can give away all the credit he wants. He is the centerpiece of that offense, of that team, Barrett Brooks. What impressed you most about the way Jalen Hurts played yesterday?
Well, just like they were talking about, his pocket presence. You could tell, sometimes, he doesn't have it all the time. Like he might run out the pocket before he needs to. And, you could tell he was just locked in on going through his reads, and he trusts the blocking around him. I mean, his pocket presence was impeccable yesterday. And that's the biggest thing that I noticed from him, the confidence level that he had. Everything's going around him. He was assured those guys were going to block for him. And, I mean, even like Saquon, Saquon had a hell of a game blocking, even on that long touchdown pass to Smitty. If you look at it, Brett Toth gets beat. The center gets beat immediately. And, in that protection, it was they line up under center, and it's like a solid protection, which is like the play action. It was solid protection, so they had extra blockers in. So Saquon wasn't there. It might have been a sack because, Brett Toth got beat, but Saquon was there to hit him. And then, he trusted it and was able to push the ball down the field for a 79-yard touchdown. Once he gets locked in like that, there's pretty much nothing you could do about it because everything just starts slowing down for him. You could tell everything slowed down for him. He was going to 2nd, 3rd reads, picking those guys off. To have a player have 180 yards and one have 120, 130 yards, amazing.
Yeah, which brings up stance number 2. The Eagles don't have just one number 1 wide receiver. They've got 2. Both A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith had monster games in Minnesota. The Birds wideouts combined for more than 300 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. The 183 yards from Smitty, a career high. It's the 13th time they both caught at least one touchdown pass, and the Eagles are 13-0 when that happens. So Barrett, these two are devastating as a combo and complement each other so well. Why don't we see these kinds of games a little more consistently when they're out there?
We think of ourselves as being a run-oriented team, even though we have the capacity to go out there and throw with just anybody in the league. I like the fact that, we can rely on going to those guys and they can, give us the results. We have virtually Batman and Robin. I don't know who it is. It depends on the game, who's going to be Batman, who's going to be Robin. Smitty turned out to be Batman yesterday. And when you look at it, they are both contrasting styles. Here you have AJ. AJ's, a bully type of player, a Debo-esque type of player. All Jalen has to do is just put the ball on him, and he's going to take it. He's going to rip it out the air. He used his body, he used his frame to debo smaller DBs, and he's able to go out there, and then he still has the speed enough to give him a slant and go, a sluggo route, and still be able to go out there and still use his body to shield the defender from the ball and catch the balls. Then you have Smitty. Smitty's a route runner. Smitty is perfect at going out there and creating separation for the passes, and that's what makes the biggest difference. You can throw and lead a guy like Smitty, and he'll go get it because he'll have separation from the DB. At this point, AJ doesn't need any separation. He's going to just go out there and take the ball from him. So with both of their styles like that, it's hard for a defense to say, all right, we're going to bracket you or we're going to bracket you, because you can't, because both guys are so good. Who's going to be the number one on that day? And that's what the biggest thing with, having these defensive coordinators. How do you pick which one you're going to bracket? How do you pick which one you're going to, send coverage to? It's really, really hard when you have guys as dynamic as those two. So, and then we're not even talking about Grant Calcaterra, in the middle of the field. Yeah. And this offense could be unstoppable. And this is what makes it so frustrating to talk about, because they are so good and they have all the players that they need. They just need everybody to get it in sync together. So they still haven't put a complete game together yet.
Also, doesn't Jalen need to learn of his successes from yesterday, that he could throw the ball out there before these guys are actually open and they can run themselves open and catch it?
Well, he can do that, but it depends on who you're throwing it to, Like I said, Smitty, he has separation. He creates that separation with his route running. AJ is not really a guy that's going to create that separation. He doesn't feel as though he needs to create that separation. He's a tough enough player, has enough speed that he's just going to debo the ball from people. So pick what you want, And both guys are just efficient in what they do and what they bring to the table.
Stance number 3, the Eagles defense bent but did not break in Minnesota. Despite 6 trips to the red zone, the Vikings only managed to score 1 touchdown. The Eagles held Minnesota to 5 field goals, and that was the difference in a 28-22 win. Vikings did sustain drives. They had 387 yards of offense, held the ball for over 34 minutes, but the Eagles came up with 2 interceptions, including a pick 6 by Jalix Hunt. Barrett, your overall assessment of the defensive play yesterday?
Well, I just think, you have a defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio, who knows how to get his best talent on the field and get them working and, cohesively together. Here we are, we have a linebacker comes back in Dean, and they implement him. He's one of the best players on the team, so you implement him into the defense. So you make up another defense. You go double eagle. You cover the center and both guards, and then you have your first rounder out on the outside, in which he can pass rush and stop the run on the outside. Here you have 3 of your best linebackers on the field, but you're able to do that because Vic Fangio's put a defense out that can do it. He's just timely at getting guys to play well together and using their talent, to really help the defense. So that's what he's great at, getting his defense out there with the correct talent to make the plays.